Terra Moons is coming out with a capsule spring collection, and this is called Pastel Perihelion. It includes 10 shadows. These are all available individually, and you get 4 mattes and 6 shimmer shadows. This will be launching on Friday, April 17th. At the time that I'm making this video, I don't have all of the pricing details, so when I get those, I'm going to go ahead and add that in the description and in a pinned comment. As far as I know, affiliate codes will work, so I'm going to go ahead and pop mine up on the screen now. I've really been enjoying some of these smaller collections from Terra Moons. It seems like we're getting smaller collections that are coming a little more frequently. And I like that, and I like that each collection has felt very cohesive in the theme and color story. I'm going to do some detailed hand swatches, eye swatches, and a look, so let's go ahead and get into it. First, we have the chrome shadow called Enif. This is a really cool shade, and I often get questions about yellow shadows because honestly, yellow shimmers are fairly hard to come by. I actually don't know why that is. Perhaps it's because they're hard to formulate, but this has a pale yellow base and a really strong pink shift. This is a really beautiful shade. I do have to say that, because of color theory, this one does look more pink on me than yellow. You can still see the yellow though. If I wanted to bring out that yellow base, I would layer this over a yellow matte. It's a gorgeous ethereal shade. The sparkle particles are a little bit larger in size, but I wouldn't describe the shade as flaky. Alright, this next shade is probably my favorite in this collection, and that's saying a lot because there's some blues and some purples in this collection. This is called Nimbus, and it has this beautiful pale minty green base, and it has a strong kind of pinky blue leaning shift. Honestly, this is a pretty unique shade in my collection. I don't think I have a shade that shifts quite like it. What I love, of course, is how glowy and sparkly it looks on the lid. I would say actually all of the shimmers in this collection are very sparkly. The sparkle particles in this shade are a little bit smaller than the previous shade I swatched. I do anticipate this one as being a crowd favorite. Okay, and the next shade we have is going to be for my champagne lovers. This is a really cool shade. I would describe it as a silvery champagne, and it's got really beautiful multicolored sparkles throughout, including purple sparkles, silver sparkles, and blue sparkles. If you love champagnes and feel like you haven't been able to find a super sparkly one, I definitely think that this is a good option. The sparkle in the shade really took my breath away, and because it has multicolored sparkles, it has a little bit of extra special dimension. I do think it has a bit of a pink shift that picks up in the mirror, but what I love about this shade is the sparkle for sure. Okay, and the next shade we have is called Rayleigh Scatter. This has this really cool pale blue base, and it has predominantly a pale golden shift. And like a lot of the shades in this collection, it's very sparkly. You also have multicolored sparkles in it. You've got some silver sparkles, some golden sparkles, another really beautiful bright springy shade. You can see when I apply it on the lid, you can see when it's applied to the lid that because it has both silver and golden sparkle, it still seems like it stays relatively cool toned. If you have tried a lot of other Terra Moon shades, you may be familiar with Ceres. That's been one of my favorites for a while, and this one is a sort of more sparkly, more cool toned version of that shade. Alright, and the next shade we have is called Glaminatrix. I'm sorry if I mispronounce that, but I've genuinely never seen that word before. This has a really pretty lavender base with multicolored sparkles. I have to say that texture-wise, I think this shade is amongst the smoothest. The sparkle particles in it are a little bit smaller. Texture-wise, definitely one of my own personal favorite types of shadows from Terra Moons. You can see when I swatch it and apply it that it has this soft kind of pale golden shift. And you also have these fine green and pink sparkles throughout. Okay, and the final shimmer that we have is our 136. This whole collection is very light and ethereal. This, I would say, is the deepest shimmer in the collection. It has what I would describe as this kind of mid-toned grungy purple base, and it shifts a lighter shade of purple. This shade is a little bit more textured, but I would say that none of the shades in this collection really felt flaky to me. The main thing that makes some of them a little bit more textured is the sparkle particle size. In general, I don't see much of a chrome shift in this one, but it has a really pretty glow and sparkle on the lid. And here is what the 4 mattes in the collection look like swatched. I like that these are all kind of muted, almost moody pastels, if that's even a thing, but I just feel like they are a little bit grungier, a little bit more nuanced. I feel like that 4th matte, that kind of like bluey gray shade, is particularly unique and standout. And here is what the whole collection looks like swatched in the back of my hand. I like to include a view like this just so you can see all the shades together and how they go together. Let's go ahead and get into a look. All right, I have my base done and we're gonna get right into doing a look. I'm gonna start off with this pastel muted green, and this is called Viridian. And I'm just going to pop that into the inner portion of the lid. All right, and I'm really happy with the pigment on that one. Just packing it on. I think I want to do something that's kind of green and pink, perfect for spring. I do like that with the last couple of collections, there's really been kind of like a color story, and I also like that there's smaller collections. I like capsule collections. All right, I am really happy with that so far. I'm going to take a little bit on the same brush and add it to the lower lash line. All right, now I'm going to go in with this muted pastel pink called Libration. And I'm just going to add that all over the rest of the lid. Just packing it on. The blending on the lid doesn't have to be perfect because I am going to be using some shimmers as well, of course. And then I just want to do a soft wing. I really do like the matte selection we have here, though I wish we had one that was deeper as well. But luckily there's lots of mattes in the Terra Moons inventory. But so far so good. It's really blending out easily. Then I'm just going to take this flatter brush here. This is from Fantasy Cosmetica, and I'm just going to connect it down to the lower lash line. All right, I'm really happy with that so far. Now I'm going to go in with this kind of blue-gray matte here. This is called Exosphere, and I'm just going to add a little bit to the brow bone. All right, priming the lid with a little bit of the Clionadh Shimmer Enhancer. This was in collaboration with Bed to the Brow. I couldn't decide on a shimmer, so we're going to go in with 2 on the lid. This is Nimbus. I don't know if I mispronounced that, but it's this really punchy green shade that has kind of a blue shift. And I'm just going to put that in the inner portion of the lid. Ooh, that is so pretty. Then there's this shade called Vendematrix. It's this beautiful ethereal purple, and it has a kind of blue-green shift. I think it's going to go really well with that first shimmer. And just put it on the outer portion of the lid. And the next shimmer shade I'm going to use is called Between Stars. I want to use this one as a little bit of a highlighting shade. There isn't an iridescent in here, but this one looks like you can apply it pretty sheerly. Yeah. Just with a light hand. and then put a little teeny bit on that inner corner. All right, and I could totally end there, but I want to take a little bit of the shade Nimbus and just add it to the top of the cheekbone, just as a little face highlight. And then just a tiny bit down the nose. All right, now I'm just gonna take this Lisa Eldridge kind of kohl eyeliner and add a very small wing. You need the lightest hand for this pencil. All right, and I added some mascara, and here is the completed look. Really love how this came out and really enjoyed playing with this collection. All right, now that I've had a chance to go through everything, let's close up with some wrap-up thoughts. I love a small capsule collection, and I love that for some of the recent collections, Terra Moons has put together also kind of a cohesive color story. So if you are getting all the shades, it is fun to play with them all together. But of course, you know, it is nice to have the option of just picking out the singles that you like. The quality is definitely the quality that I know and love from Terra Moons. My own personal favorite shades are the shimmers that are kind of like blue-green, which is probably unsurprising because those are the shades that I tend to gravitate toward the most. I thought the mattes performed well, so if you're looking for some pastels that are pigmented and blend well, I don't think that you'll be disappointed by the quality of these. Now that we've had a chance to go through everything, I would love to hear what you think of this collection and which are your favorite shades, and if you're adding anything to your wish list. If you made it to the end of this video, please leave me a flower emoji. As always, I really hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.